The AiBot from Bitredex, the bot from the trending exchange that's already been on the market for 4 years, has arrived and is not going unnoticed. Moving millions and millions every 24 hours, this bot promises us a fixed return of up to 15% per month automatically, paying you every day and 100% withdrawable. Obviously, everyone is already talking about this project. And yes, everyone tells you the same thing. Nevertheless, those facts are quite important. We already know that the sponsor is Olivier Giroud, one of the most important footballers in the world. We also know that the funds are held in custody by Kobo. And also that Bain Capital, a company that looks for unicorn projects, that is projects they believe will take off and help them grow with their own funding, is involved. For example, that's what they did with LinkedIn back in the day, a company we all know. Here we see the news both on Binance and in 30K's own audit. We see that this company financed them with no less than 12 million to carry out this AiBot. We also see that it has an excellent security rating and that the exchange has already been operating for 4 years. It is already climbing the rankings above much older and more renowned exchanges and is also listed on CoinMarketCap. And these figures are great and leave us with a very good impression. However, what most people are interested in is the service they launched last year, the AiBot, a 100% automatic bot that operates in the futures market and generates returns of up to a fixed 0.5% daily. That is to say, we're talking about a fixed 15% each month, payable and withdrawable every 24 hours. And as you already know, I have to investigate everything thoroughly, so I decided to have a Zoom call with the CEO of this exchange to see something from the inside that hasn't been shown until now, at least in the Spanish-speaking community. Today, I'm here to show you the dashboard of Bitredex's AiBot, so that, based on this, you can seek out more information about this specific service yourself. But before continuing, I want to emphasize that this is not an investment recommendation and that all investments carry risks. This video is purely for informational purposes. Invest at your own risk and always with money you are willing to lose after having done your own research. We work with a top-tier exchange, but the risk will always be present. This video is a summary of the Zoom meeting we had directly with the CEO of Bitredex. Now, if you want the full video, I'll leave a link to my community in the description of this very video so you can contact me directly, and that way I can send you the complete version. This will allow you to analyze it for yourself or ask me any questions you may have about this project. All right, let's get started. Well, in this meeting, he basically tells us that they work with an AI that analyzes the entire market structure, all that information, right? Then he shows us that they do both backtesting and front testing. And he tells us that even though all that analysis and execution system of the AI is done on a supercomputer, at least he wanted to show us about 5% of what is actually carried out with this technology in the part that isn't visible, which is what makes the AiBot work, right? So that we have something closer and more tangible. Here he shows us the results of 2 backtests, one over a month and another over 3 months, and we see that they specify the currency in question. And in the 1-month example, the first thing it does is run a team analysis based on the market to collect all the market information and structure the trades according to the results and the current situation. Then in the second example, it will do an analysis based on the news, and for that what they do is connect it with different artificial intelligences. It shows us examples like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, OpenRoot, and Olema. And while the AI gives the result, it will show us the back office for people who want to try it out, right? So those trades really do exist. For that, he tells us that they use a FREC trade, and well, he explains for those who don't know what it is, it's an open source trading bot, okay? It's written in Python, and what it does is allow you to automate strategies. It also lets you do backtesting with historical data, operate either in simulation mode or in real time on various exchanges, which is used by traders or developers looking for a powerful and customizable tool for algorithmic trading. And with it, what they can do is basically demonstrate the results of their operations. In fact, it shows us the open source code and how anyone can have their own Bitredex AiBot as long as they have access to the code. But obviously for this, as he tells us, you would need a lot of knowledge and powerful systems to be able to carry it out and test it yourself, right? The important thing is that this open source code exists and that it has been shared with us. In fact, this is the one I'm showing you here, okay? He also shows us that the AI bot is connected to more than 100 artificial intelligences, and 12 of them are connected to different exchanges like OLX, Binance, and Bybit. He shows us trades within the dashboard and how they are executed in real time, including the profit percentage of each order. Another thing they show us are the profit percentages they have obtained with each of those accounts up to today, and then they tell us that they have more than 100 of them. And besides those accounts, they tell us that they generate an average of between 40 and 60% monthly profit, okay? Of which they are used to make the daily payments to the users of the bot. And with what is left over, they add it to other operations so that compound interest generates higher returns, which I understand is also used to add to the fund pool. However, they already had previous capital, but to be completely honest, I haven't managed to fully understand what he said in that sentence. Anyway, we see the initial figures and how they are now. He also shows us that one of their lowest profits was over $148,000, and on one of their best days, they earned more than 2.7 million or 3.4 million. He also shows us that they have losing days, but in those cases, as we already know, they will take profits from that liquidity pool to pay users what they are promised each day. He shows us one of the accounts that started with $500,000 on Binance and has already achieved a 5,000% gain with a short selling strategy that began on June 24, 2025, accumulating 4,365 trades up to today, of which 3,037 were wins and 1,328 were losses. This has resulted in a win rate of 69% with an average trade duration of 43 minutes and a maximum drawdown of 4.61%. And here we can see the entire summary of the trades, okay? Now he shows us another one on Gate.io with a 1,000% gain. We can see that this account started on July 5th, 2025 with 3,804 trades, of which 3,488 were winners and 303 were losses, with a profit rate of 92% up to today, an average duration of 10 minutes and a maximum drawdown of 12%. And again, the summary of the executed trades, where you can see the details of each operation if you click on them, okay? And one last account among the new ones they've added shows us a profit of 19%. It shows that this one started on March 9th up until the day it was recorded, which was the 27th. So that's 18 days in total, meaning it made 1% per day. With 536 trades in total, of which 419 were winners and 104 were losses, with a win rate of 80% and a drawdown of 2.87, which is nothing, super low. He specifically points out the fact that if we were to look at every single one of the accounts in the system, the average win rate typically falls somewhere in the range of 80 and 90%. But for the more common standard accounts, it is usually between 40 and 60%. And that's the reason why they can maintain that consistency in making daily payments to the client, both to the client and to the network. Now he shows us the result of the back test, which he has already finished, the 1-month test that he started at the beginning of the meeting. And as we can see, it shows a monthly profit of 40% and more data below, which you can pause the screen and analyze if you want, okay? On the other hand, in the 3-month backtest he did, the profit percentage rises to 92%. And he tells us that if it were done annually, the profit reaches 8,000%. And although the results obviously always depend on what the market dictates since they use compound interest, that's the reason why they achieve such high profits. And finally, he shows us the result of the AI analysis divided into 5 levels. And basically this lets them know the market trend and the best entry points to carry out those trades. And here he also shows us the link to the open source code for those skeptics who want to try the bot for yourselves, although he already warns us that it's complex and you need to know how to do it. But anyway, he gives us the open source code so that anyone who wants to can try the AiBot individually on their own, okay? So that's it, a slightly technical video, but I wanted to go a bit deeper into the technical side, the part behind the exchange that investors don't see, so you can have more information. And for those of you who are considering this investment option, you'll have more details, okay? As always, I'm not going to take a position. I'm not going to tell you invest, because this is the goose that lays the golden eggs and then something happens, okay? I don't want to make myself responsible, or on the contrary say don't invest because it's too good, even though there are other exchanges that have already done it, and this is an exchange already super big with 4 years, and basically what they want to do is simply it's a model to attract clients. They've launched the AiBot for a limited time, okay? So that people start joining the exchange, and in this way they build a customer base, which is what I think will happen. There will come a point when they'll say, look, that's it, we're stopping the promotion, no more returns. I don't think they'll run off with the money, but well, we've seen everything in this world, so I'm not going to take sides or tell you to invest and then have it go wrong, or tell you not to invest because there might be a risk and then you miss out on the opportunity to make the money of your life because you could. So this is just for your information. If you want to join the team, I am actively investing and I have a good amount of capital with them. I'll leave the link down below so you can join the team with me and I can help you out with anything you need. So that's all for this video. See you in the next one. Bye.